Hey, folks, look who's in the office. Hey, folks, how you doing? It's been a while since I've come to you from the office, and I was on the road. I went to California. I came back from California. I brought my daughter back. It's an answer to prayer that she has also decided to hashtag escaping California and come take a job here in Kansas. You'll notice today's shirt, totally by accident, says Toto, we're not in Cali anymore. Given to us by a relative that also lives in Kansas. So we're having a blast, but today I wanted to come to you because I'm busy. I'm just going to get right to it. I'm busy. Business is going good. We got three, four new clients in the last 30 days. Medium-sized projects. Everything is going well. We got a couple of bigger proposals in the hopper. So I'm excited. But I still have, I'm still, I don't want to say I'm a solopreneur because I'm running an agency. I've got a small team of people, but I still feel very solopreneurish when it comes to things like I manage my own LinkedIn presence. I look at my own Facebook feed. I look at, and as much as I would love to just flush Facebook and get rid of Facebook altogether, there's still a lot of people in there that, pop up and say hello or make that connection. And that's when you're like, oh, I'm glad I got this. Or you join a new webinar series or a new course, and they're going to have some adjacent, Facebook group or Facebook page that's going to have the community and the communication in it. And if you're really focused on growth and doing something like that, well, then being able to access that stuff is important. And so, like I said, there's times where I wish I could just flush it down the drain and not even ever sign in again. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, let's do this. It is business. Let's do this. And so, if I think in terms of, Twitter, X, Instagram, um, Facebook, and of course LinkedIn, I'm active. I'm very small in my, personnel footprint. And so I still manage this stuff myself, which brings me to, pardon me, and I'm just going to share this. I don't know if this, I don't even think that I'm shaming anybody because I don't even think this person exists. Now, it should be, let me see if I share this. We should see the infinity screen, which tells me that if I go to messaging in LinkedIn, you're going to see what I get here. Now, I get a ton of these, right? So here we see a thumbnail, some chicken address, okay? Naya Marcel, ADEME Air Inspector. Now, I don't know if these spam things are like researching my profile or what, but I've worked in aviation, fixed operations in automotive, power sports, the marine industry. And so when someone comes to my thing and they say they're an air inspector, I'm like, well, what is that? Is that aviation? Is that whatever, right? And here comes this message, right? Hello, I hope you are well. Can we get in touch? I would like to connect with other active professionals on LinkedIn. I hope it didn't bother you. Thank you very much. Okay, not the end of the world. I'm going to share the rest of these. I'm not going to go through each message, but you'll see there's a lot of them in here, a lot of in-mails that are coming to me, and a lot of stuff I never asked for. Okay. I have a course that I put out on how to use LinkedIn because this is a horrible misuse of LinkedIn. Now, let me show you what gets the nod and what doesn't get the nod. So people are wondering, well, how can I get into people's inbox? How can I get people to message me back? How can I get people to respond? This is how you don't get someone to respond. There's nothing in here that says anything about Manana Nomas or Kurt Von Anen. This is a generic outreach. And if I click on her name right here or here, it's going to take me to her profile. Now, first things first, if I don't see a cover image, you ain't getting in. If I don't see any real activity, you ain't getting in. She's got 40 connections and she's 49 followers. Who knows who those people are? Those could be other blank cell phones running in some, giant troll farm somewhere. So, as people that work online, people that are trying to express themselves, through social media, we need to be vigilant. We need to be responsible and go, who the heck is trying to reach out to me? Now, then I get experience, gerente general, right? So, editorial mil vueltas. I don't know what that means. I haven't got a clue. 7 years, 5 months, no picture, no link, no nothing. Um, Folks, this does not get the nod. Okay. And so this will take me back to, let me go back to my StreamYard and I'll turn off the screen share for a moment. Let's talk about what does get the nod. What does get the nod is, hey, Kurt, looking at the sudden growth of Mañana No Mas. How's your move to Kansas? I see you work with membership and learning websites. Hey, I see you're a public speaker in leadership. Um, hey, we may have met at the John Maxwell organization. I too am John Maxwell certified. There's got to be some kind of connection. And if there's not a connection, at least make the message personal. The next thing I'm going to convey to you is the message should be short. Like I said, I'm busy. I'm a busy person. I got a lot of new clients. I got a lot of new contracts. I got some subcontractors that I'm trying to manage, projects I'm managing, and I'm trying to manage my social media content and making sure that I am marketing appropriately for the stuff that I want to do. I don't want to wade through a bunch of crap. Okay. So these folks that are sending 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, we could go through LinkedIn and we could probably find a couple of them. In fact, I'm going to just pop over here to messaging real quick. I'm going to go to unread because I'm sure I got a lot of them on unread. Here we go. Here's a perfect one. And so right out of the chute, the first message here is, hey, Kurt, I saw you're an entrepreneur. Hey, good guess, pal. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a unique skill that allows me to grab you an extra 10,000 followers with zero ad spend. Okay. If you're at all curious, click accept. And if not, send me your most cutting insult. And then, he sent that. And then the very next day, because I didn't respond, I got, thanks for connecting and not sending me a cutting insult, Kurt. Well, dude, you're making a lot of assumptions. I didn't read your message because I don't want to read 3 paragraphs from a stranger, right? Quick question. Are you open to new ways of getting clients and building an audience? I've got an opportunity for you, but don't want to pitch it without your permission. Let me know and I'll shoot you over some further details. Okay, no permission. No permission, not even a response. Next business day. I don't know if you want 10,000 plus followers, Kurt, but we specialize in creating viral video content that converts attention into sales appointments. I'll get straight to the point. We commit to adding 10,000 plus followers on your social media and generating $120,000 in client pipeline value in less than 180 days, all without spending money on ads. Are you interested in hearing more? Well, I'm waiting to hear what tomorrow's message is going to be. Folks, that is absolutely not the way to connect and make sales on LinkedIn. Now, I'm assuming that this is some kind of like spray and pray kind of thing. Like we're just going to vomit all over the community and we're going to see if we get like a 0.5% to even give us a sales meeting or give us a call. And some people are looking at, for the server resources to send out to everybody, maybe that 0.5% is worth it to you. Maybe someone signs up and says, hey, I'll give you $500 a month to get me those 10,000 contacts. And then it's 180 days, right? So $3,000 later. And remember, these could be, in India, Africa, Vietnam, Pakistan, whatever. $3,000 in Vietnam goes a long way. $3,000 in the Philippines goes a long way. So remember, here in America, we are targets for this kind of stuff. So, and not in a bad way. If you get $500 in value, great, spend your money. But if someone's reaching out to you and sending you 3, 4, 5 messages, 4 or 5 paragraphs each, talking to you about this many more sales appointments and this many more dollars per month in your MRR, and they don't know who you are or what your business is, that is lunacy. Okay. So like I said in the description of this video when I went live, there is, and I'm kind of ranting, but if you are watching this live, because I see some people coming and going, if you watching this live and you want to jump in, leave a comment, let me know where you're at or what your feedback is on the subject. I'm totally able to have this conversation. And you can put the notes in after, if you're watching the replay, put a comment in afterwards. Let me know where you watched from or what's going on. I have been at this game a long time. Hundreds of videos on YouTube under the Mañana No Mas name, and I've got, I think, 78 subscribers. I've got a course on how to use LinkedIn on kurtvananten.com. Only got a couple folks in there. Just to be honest with you, only a couple of folks in there. It's great content to get started using your LinkedIn in an effective, efficient way, but we only got a couple people in there. What I'm seeing is a total lack of professionalism and people just spraying and praying and putting these weird messages out there, hoping they get 1/4% or 1/2%, or maybe a full percent response so that they can market to somebody a $300 or $500 a month program to increase their appointments or have a virtual assistant do something for them. Folks, there are folks like that. And then there are other people that way overthink it and never let their marketing wheels hit the ground. And so remember, for all these people that are spamming the living crud out of you, there's a group of people over here with great ideas and great products that aren't actively using any kind of social campaign because they're not sure how to get started. They got a great product, they got a great service, they're probably great people, but they're overthinking it, they're overanalyzing it, they're trying to look at algorithms and figure out the magic secret button, and there is no magic secret button. You just got to participate, do, and be authentic. And so you've got one extreme, the other extreme. And then somewhere in between those two extremes, we got a ton of lost people that are just lost. And that's easy to have happen. I just watched a really, really good webinar yesterday brought out by ConvertKit, and it's called Creator something, My Creator, or so, I can't remember now, Creator Space. But anyway, it's a series they're doing this week. I'm sure it's running live right now, and I should probably log in and learn something new again. But they were talking about flywheels yesterday, and a flywheel is the thing that turns a water pump, like, when you dig a well in Africa, and the flywheel is what keeps the water coming continuously out of the pump. What he was saying was it takes a long time, or it takes a lot of effort to get that flywheel to start to turn. But once it starts to turn, it starts to work. Okay. And so if you're a spammer, you're doing that on purpose. And if you're overthinking and overanalyzing, you're kind of stuck in your own mess. But for the people that are in between, that are just plain lost, look at some of these other processes, like the LinkedIn course I have on kurtvananten.com. It'll soon be on Udemy, by the way. We're transferring that course to Udemy so it gets more exposure. So there's that avenue. There's things like I was talking about with this ConvertKit webinar, talks about, how to build an effective marketing flywheel, something where you can take the same content and kind of spin it and spin it and spin it and get it working. And then once it picks up momentum, it just keeps pumping the pump. It just keeps doing its thing. And then you're able to focus on what you do best. You see, as a business owner, as an agency owner, I've got multiple clients with all different kinds of business ideas, multiple sites working at all the time. Everyone's got a different drive. Some are focused on membership. Some are focused on learning. Some are focused on e-commerce and selling trinkets. Other folks are selling their own, agency product. Like maybe they've got a product that, helps people, helps authors sell books. Maybe they've got that, and they're focused on that. And by nature, my focus also has to be split and extended to my clients' areas of priority. Okay, so I get exposure to a lot of that. But it's super important that through that haze, through that mist, there is a focus on what Mañana No Mas needs to be centered on. And I'll tell you right now, when I focus, it's not to accept people that don't have cover photos, that don't have profile photos, that don't have any recent posting activity, that don't like or share anything, but want to be my new best friend. Folks, watch the bots, know what's online, and try your best to only connect to real, authentic people. Here's an example of an authentic connection. Hey, it starts out like that, right? Hey, just thought I'd reach out and see if you wanted to connect, whatever, right? We're in the same industry. I like your leadership website. I see that we live in the same town, whatever. Hey, just thought I'd reach out and see if you'd like to connect. We XXX. Done. That's it. Short, sweet. If they connect, wonderful. If they don't want to connect. Okay. But if they connect, then you just come back to them and you say, hey, thanks for the connection. It's awesome to meet you. If you're up for a sales free icebreaker call, I'd love to get together with you. Now, they could say, what's the call about? Or what do you want to talk about? Or normally they just go, no, like just ignore you, which is fine. If they don't want to connect on a sales free, icebreaker call, that's fine. But a lot of people will say, that's different. The guy's just reaching out and asking if I want to have a quick call. Yeah, sure, I'll do a quick call. What could I lose? And when you get them on the phone, you don't sell them nothing. You just say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm really glad we made this connection. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Why don't you tell me about a key project you're working on right now? Why don't you tell me what your focus is moving forward in 2024? And then, you're only on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes, so it's going to go quick. And then you're going to figure out, is this somebody I want to be connected to and have ongoing conversations with and possibly market or network with for other opportunities? Or is this just a name on my list? And it's okay. If someone's just a name on your list, that's fine. I'm going to tell you, I've got like over 10,000, under 10,000. I'm somewhere around 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. Out of those 10,000 people, I've spoken to over 2,000 of them. I think I'm getting close to 3,000 people that I've physically spoken to in my LinkedIn account. And that's because I want to know, who am I connected to? What are their main drivers? And how can I add value to them? Is there someone else on my list that I think would add value to them? Is there someone on their list that would add value to me? A John Maxwell famous question is, who do you know that I should know? It's a great question. Who do you know that I should know? Right? And from there, you can begin to expand and grow and be personable and real and authentic throughout the process. I've got some people that aren't naturally outgoing. I've got some people that are pretty naturally reserved, and they've been following some of my training in this regard, and they're getting great results. And you don't have to be, hey, let me tell you a little bit about something. It actually works better if you're not like that. Hey, I'm just some dude, right? Like here, I'm just some dude in a home office coming to you and wondering what we can do together. If we can't do anything together, that's great. It's good to know you anyway. Maybe you got some people I should know. Maybe I got some people you should know. What are you focused on in 2024? And you listen, and you really, really listen. And then it'll come to you. You'll be like, oh crap, I got 2 people on my list or 3 people on my list that this person probably needs to connect with. It happens all the time. And that's why my LinkedIn is full of people trying to connect with me, and other people are struggling trying to find people that will connect with them. You understand? The reason why I'm looking at spam that says, hey, I see that you are a great entrepreneur. I am from other country and have no activity. Would you like to connect, please? No, because I know that I'm a target in those areas. Okay. But here's the point. 3 years ago, I didn't have multiple people a day trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. Today, I do. Okay. Because it's a long game. You do the work, you look at the results. You do the work, you look at the results. Maybe you tweak a little something and you do some more work and you look at more results. And things will keep growing and growing and growing. Folks, I got to tell you, it's great. I'm here in my home office again upstairs. You just don't know. My daughter's been living in this office for the last week and a half or so I haven't had much use of it. So it's kind of cool to be back, have the big screen and the camera and the microphone. I got my microphone here, and that's really good for me. I'm really enjoying that. The other thing that happened before I end the stream is I just want to thank some folks. On LinkedIn, it's advertised that Mañana No Mas is 15 years old, and it is. It started in 2008, really. And so technically, I guess it'd be like 16 years, but LinkedIn sees it as 15 years. They put out the thing that Mañana No Mas was 15 years old. A bunch of people reached out and congratulated me for playing the long game and doing the work and keeping it alive. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really have any regrets, because regrets is a dangerous path to walk. But I do sometimes wonder if I didn't let Ducati hire me away from myself. So Mañana No Mas was growing. 2008 through 2013, Mañana No Mas had grown pretty well. It was doing okay. It went from like, hey, we're struggling eating beans in a pot to let's go buy some steak. Like we were doing pretty good. But then Ducati made me a job offer, like a real job, like move to California and be a professional in the power sports industry. And those of you that don't know me, I am a motorcycle addict. So when a company like Ducati says, "Hey, would you like to come work in the big office?" It's really hard to say no. And so I took that job and I put kind of a pause on Mañana No Mas. I still did a couple of side projects and a couple of passion pieces, but for the most part, I was a Ducati employee and really wrapped up in all things motorcycles and Ducati. And then in 2016, I was going to leave Ducati and go independent again. Like, I just got to work for myself. But then Suzuki recruited me and made an offer that was much better than the offer that Ducati was making me. So I was like, well, it's a lot more money. I'm moving to a cheaper part of the state. So I thought at the time. I said, we'll give it a shot. So we moved 500 miles south and I worked for Suzuki for about 4 years. And then Suzuki went through some hellacious layoffs. I mean, they just laid off a ton of people. And I am so thankful I was at the front of that wave and not the rear of that wave. But my department got hit right up front with the initial wave of layoffs. And I had to rebuild Mañana No Mas almost from scratch. And I'm happy to say that in 4 short years, they don't seem short when you're doing them. But when you look back on it, you go, oh my goodness. So in 4 short years, we are multiple clients, a decent MRR. Could it be better? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I need to read some more books. I need to do some more training. I need to work harder at the social side. But I know this. And I also know that I need to expand and hire a couple more people. So I am actively looking for a couple of, I don't know if I'm going to go the virtual way, virtual assistant, or if I'm going to try and do something local here in Kansas. But I do need to bring a couple of people in for a couple of tasks and keep them employed so I can focus on what drives revenue. If I'm focused on like deleting my spam and looking at this nonsense in LinkedIn that we were talking about today, if I'm focused on that, that's preventing me from selling the next 40, 50, $80,000 project. And so I need to really focus on those key areas. And so I'll be bringing someone in and hopefully from an apprentice standpoint, bringing them up in like, what is the mentality of Kurt Von Ahn and how does Mañana No Mas work? Why does this grow? Why does this work? How are we able to grow it twice? Meaning I grew it before I went to Ducati and now I'm growing it again after leaving Suzuki. How can the same project experience that duplication of success? And it's because there are some very sound business practices that I follow. And while I seem like both feet in and very aggressive and carefree, there is a certain conservative rail that goes right through the middle of me that kind of keeps me on track and lets me know, hey, I'm coming up against the envelope here. I need to back off a hair and I need to refocus on something more consistent. So anyway, 15 years in, big thank you to the folks that have jumped on and made a public post or thanked me for that. And for the folks that come and watch the replay on this, I would love to hear your comments on how you isolate spam, how you isolate things in your Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram messengers, without missing the opportunities. Because that's the other fear. The fear is I get so obsessed with getting rid of the spam in my inbox, I actually end up deleting a valuable contact. So I don't want to be careless, but I can't just open the floodgates and let everybody in. Here's something interesting. LinkedIn gives you 30,000 connections and you think that's immense. You think that's huge. You think, oh my God, I could never be connected to 30,000 people. I'm going to tell you, when you get to 10,000 people and you realize how much bigger the business world is, you start to think, oh crap, I only got 20,000 more left. I mean, you literally start to think that. Like at first you're like 30,000, that's so many. I could never be connected to 30,000 people. Once you get to that 10,000 mark, you're like, oh crap, I only got 20,000 seats left. I better get more selective about who I let in. And I'll give you another hint. I've gone through and I've culled the list a little bit. I've looked at, hey, if someone hasn't wished me a happy birthday in 3 years, I've been on LinkedIn a long time. So if someone hasn't wished me a happy birthday in 3 or 4 years, or they haven't ever sent a message, or they never like or comment any of my posts, they're obviously not an active connection. And I start cutting them because I'm not in it for the number. I'm in it for the connection. And I think that that's part of the key to how I grow so quickly. Folks, have yourself a wonderful day. It is only Tuesday the 23rd, the day I'm supposed to get my new phone in the mail. All right. Have yourself a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, and then let's do this thing. I like doing this at the end when I say, oh, thanks for watching.